Donald Trump and Giorgia Meloni. They share what many believe is a special relationship. He calls her a rising star, she praises his politics, and that's because Trump and Meloni speak the same political language. Tough on borders, big on tradition, and unapologetically nationalistic. It is strongman politics with a personal touch. No wonder they get along. Since Donald Trump was elected to office, Giorgia Meloni has met him thrice, and she's set to do it again. The Italian Prime Minister is in Washington, D.C. She will meet the U.S. President in a few moments from now. And on the agenda is a deal, a trade deal, not just for Italy, but for the whole of Europe. Can she manage it? Is Giorgia Meloni Europe's Trump whisperer? A quick primer first. The European Union is one of America's biggest allies and trading partners. In 2024, it was the largest single market for U.S. exports, the EU. This month, Donald Trump announced his new round of tariffs, and Europe did not walk away unscathed. 20% on all imports and 25% on steel, aluminium, and cars. This is what the US slapped on the EU. Europe retaliated with 25% reciprocal tariffs. But then Trump hit a 90-day pause. So Europe responded in kind. They paused too. But now they face a stark choice. Should the EU negotiate or should it retaliate? For the moment, they've chosen to talk. They want a trade deal to make sure that they can evade the US tariffs. They want a deal for that. And so they've sent Giorgia Meloni. Why her? Because she has Trump's attention. They're hoping that she can convince him to strike a deal. Earlier today, Meloni spoke to Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission. The two are said to have coordinated her messaging on what she is going to say to Trump. They discussed that. So Europe is counting on Meloni to get the job done. But what's in it for her? Well, this is a leader who has positioned herself as a bridge between Europe and Trump's America. She has been panned for her closeness to the new US administration, but the Italian Prime Minister has maintained that it will pay off. And this is her test.
I'm convinced that we must work to avert a trade war in every possible way that would benefit no one, neither the United States nor Europe, which of course does not exclude, if necessary, also having to imagine adequate responses to defend our production.
Plus, there's national interest involved here. The US and Italy have a trade surplus of more than $40 billion. So Rome exports more products than it imports from Washington. The top exports include vehicles, fashion, food, and beverages. So Meloni is feeling some domestic pressure too. She must shield Italian businesses from American tariffs.
The US is clearly a key market for us. It is clear that the introduction of new tariffs would have heavy repercussions for Italian producers. I personally think it would also be an injustice for many US citizens, because it would limit the possibility of buying and consuming our excellence only to those who can afford to spend more.
So right now she's on a mission impossible. Not everyone is optimistic about it. Reports suggest that some European officials were not in favor of this visit. They think it undermines European unity, that Europe should put up a united defense and not depend on individual friendships. Many also fear that Meloni will freelance, that she will cut a good deal for Italy and leave the rest of the EU in the dust. Now, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, but we do know that the Italian Prime Minister is no stranger to balancing acts. Since taking office, she has walked the diplomatic tightrope, signaling solidarity with Europe on Ukraine while maintaining ideological sympathy with Trump. She's condemned Russia's invasion, but she's also avoided the zealous moralism of some European counterparts. She talks to Macron and she also talks to Elon Musk. So Giorgia Meloni knows how to work with all camps. But this is a risky gambit. If she fails, Europe may not forgive her. If she succeeds, she will be hailed as the unlikely savior of the transatlantic alliance. So there is a lot riding on her back. The next few hours will tell us if Giorgia Meloni is just Trump's friend or Europe's fixer-in-chief?
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
No, I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.